Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast, episode 295. We've got a live Capitals game going on right now. We also have a live Monday Night Football playoff game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dallas is currently up 12-0 in the second quarter with 4:23 left. Tampa Bay was marching to try to score a touchdown, but Tom Brady threw an interception in the end zone. Yeah, it's an interesting game to and DC's People Champ just subscribed for 13 months. Um
Hey.
I appreciate Champ for that. Yeah, 13. Last week was 12 because that was the first episode since he had resubscribed. And so a week later, it's actually been a month for him. So I appreciate subscriptions back to back weeks by Champ. Champ's gonna be on later in the show.
Hey,
Um,
champ.
and for some reason, I don't know why, but our Zoom thing got blown way out of proportion on Twitch. I apologize. We do have Anna here live. I guess we haven't formally brought her in yet. But Anna, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I feel like it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think November was the last time I've had you on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like I left for Hawaii and came back, and you left for Cayman Islands, uh and then I fell at work and had to get stitches, and then I got hit at work and was just having a bad day last week. And now I'm here.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Champ saying that he's healing up. He was in the hospital. So yes, good vibes over
Oh,
to Champ for I'm hoping that he continues to heal up and feel better.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Mhm.
He was a champ and was on our show last week, even though he wasn't feeling well, and he's feeling better this week, and we'll have him on for our football talk. So the Capitals started this game off not so well. They were down 3-0. I was like, dang it, that sucks for a game. Then I turn it on, and right away we get two goals for the good guys. That's
Yeah.
pretty exciting. Anna, your
I
quick thoughts about this game, and then we'll go back and talk about the week that was, and then go more into this game as well.
Sure thing. Honestly, but I don't know. I don't know who this was on the ice. I wasn't really impressed with who, the line. It wasn't the lines that was bothering me. It was just kind of just the overall, maybe just the overall effort. They seemed off. And as we know, this particular New York team is quite aggressive and quite physical. But they also have amazing players. So we knew it was going to be hard, but I did not expect it to be that 3-0, and was really kind of getting a little concerned with Kemper. I have to be honest. I was like, is it him? Does he need to be pulled? Um, Obi. I don't know if you saw. Well, first off, Nick Dowd gets injured, and we
So tell
haven't.
me what happened there, because I missed that play. I don't know if you
I
did.
missed it too when I came back. All I saw was that he was like hunched over trying to make it to the bench. And then we haven't seen him back since. And so
Yeah,
that's awful. No one, I'm like, awful. So
yeah.
I didn't get to see what
Yeah, I
happened
don't
after
know what
that.
happened there. So unfortunately I was putting the kids to bed, so I missed the fact that I saw that he got hurt, but I missed the play. And but Yeah, so just real quickly on the scoring update, basically in the first period it was 2-0, and then they score one more at the beginning of the second period.
Hmm.
And then Hathaway got a beautiful goal. He just sort of uh he was able to basically pitchfork it through. It was like right under
A
the guy.
poke.
A poke, if you will, yeah, which the other team did not appreciate that poke. So made it 3-1. Ovi got his 20th assist of the season, and then Tom Wilson gets his first goal. So I have the Tom Wilson jersey here. Yeah, I mean, a great goal, assist by Nicholas Backstrom, already his second assist of the
Yeah,
season, that got us to 2-3, and a little momentum going at least into the third period. Hopefully,
absolutely.
hopefully,
They
we'll.
just,
Yeah, we need
I
that.
would say, like, the Islanders came out and they wanted it right away. And they played that first period. They played 20 minutes, and it was obvious, and they were clicking and we were not. um but come that second period, I will say Garden Hathaway is a total badass. I mean, he's not gonna stop. He'll with the fights and everything else. That's fine. He's strong. He's out there. But I was so happy to see that he scored. Ovechkin, holy crap, just laid out Peugeot. I didn't know if that guy was going to come back. Legit, like you're getting hit by number 8 into the boards. It was intense, and it's almost like I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. But when he's trying to stand, it was like he was wobbly. But he came back, and Ovi went over and said a little something to him, and there was a smile, and it's like, okay, that's good. And then my Tommy, I love it. That's what we needed. We needed to kind of start seeing the number 19, number 43 back in the, whether it's assists, goals, whatever it is. I'm just glad to see both of them.
Number 19
Yeah.
here as well. And I'm super happy that they are both back. And we'll obviously need them in the third period here. I like the lineup more this time. It was a slow start, but they're just trying to get used to each other.
Yeah.
And it's a tough Islanders team, coached by someone who was on our run, right? In 2018.
Big time.
So he knows us very well. It's been a frustrating night. I was hoping that we'd be crushing the Cowboys. We'd be up 6-0, and all the lines would be rolling. And it was definitely not what I had envisioned when we were picking out this podcast. But let's go a little bit back and talk about the last week for the Capitals and these games against the Flyers. I will be honest, I saw moments of these games. I did not watch all of them, but it's obviously very frustrating to lose to a division rival, somebody who we think that we're matched up pretty well against, and we should be doing better. But just overall, I thought that losing the first game, which they lost 5-3, would sort of get them excited about the second game. But and it was a really close. That first game, we cut it down to 4-3 with that TJ Oshie goal, and they got an empty netter on a power play goal, which is tough to stop. And unfortunately gets the hat trick with that, but. It's basically a 4-3 game. It's very close, and I was hoping that we were gonna, win the next one. But what were some of your thoughts on that first game against the Flyers?
Yeah, no, I felt the same way. I felt my frustration was really connect me, the hat trick. Blech. I'm not a fan of his. Just like I absolutely can't stand Clutterbuck on this team right now, and but this was frustrating. This was, no goals in the second, and they came out and scored into the third twice in 7.5 minutes. It just wasn't there. Good to see Mojo scoring at 9:18 and Oshie, but they just didn't have it. They just didn't have it in them. And like you said, this was in Philly. I was really hoping they were to come to DC and just really, get their shit together and let's see. And then they change the lines, and then everyone's kind of up in arms about that. But I mean, I'm not in a place where I really want to throw Laviolette under the bus because, but I'm hearing a lot of people who are just so negative if there's any kind of change. And it's like, listen, we got 19 and 43 back, but that doesn't mean that, look at how long they've been off the ice, and how they are in practice isn't necessarily going to be how they are in the game. And I was really just irked, to be honest, how people, their opinion.
I was so happy that you said it. We talked about it a little bit last week on our show, and it was just very frustrating. And I want to give a shout out to Gil and C4. They do a great job on this week's Power Play Point podcast as well. And we had both of them on last week on this show. And we talked about a lot of these sort of issues as they were bubbling up, and we really didn't figure out the lineups, so far. And it's tough because, I am such a huge Mantha fan. I even decided to ride or die wear his shirt tonight. I was still hoping in the third period that he can prove his worth, because it's tough when you're stuck on the fourth line, but that's not really your skill set. It's hard to shine down there. So let's see what he's got on a higher line. And,
he's been more physical tonight.
Yeah. So
but it's still
I
Yeah.
still need more. I need him to really, I need him to get the game tying goal here or something like that. So, or even an assist on it, or just
Something.
something that drives the play in that direction, right? So, um,
Absolutely.
so let's go
Absolutely.
to the second Philly game real quick. Um, they scored first. Ovi scored at 17:56. He's got his 30th goal in the season and his 17th season in which he's gotten 30 or more. And what's crazy is he'd already be like crushing this even more if it wasn't for lockout seasons, right? And
Right.
I was looking at his goal totals every year over the course of his career, and it's just he's so incredibly consistently right around 50 goals, which is
Yeah.
remarkable. And
Absolutely.
uh, but the fact that he's already got 30 before the All-Star break, I'm sure there'll be dips throughout the season or whatever, but it's another record he doesn't have to like worry about knocking off, right? He's
Yeah.
already got second. He's kind of just ticking these boxes, and every game it seems to getting another record. I haven't had
Yeah.
you on since obviously he broke 800. And what are some of your thoughts about these last couple of weeks for Ovechkin?
Oh, consistent. He's exactly what you need on the team in the sense that the leadership role is there, but he doesn't not give it 110%. He's one that you're not like, maybe we should change him. Maybe he should be a healthy scratch. No, not at all. He's consistent, and I truly love that every time he's interviewed, and even after number 800, that it was more about the team than it was about him. And that he's a team player, and I appreciate the sportsmanship that he gives the team and the fans and everything else. And what just a complete and total badass. I mean, just plain and simple, it is an absolute honor to see somebody like this on the ice. And I'm excited. I'm actually going to the Pens game a week from
Yeah, I
Thursday.
heard about that. Was it a Christmas present or was some sort
It
of present for
was.
your family?
No, it
That's
was it was a Christmas present from my husband, which we were like, we're not going to do exchange because I was in Hawaii, he was in LA. It was like cha-ching. Now we're doing the kitchen, and yeah, I got surprised in section 108, which is
wow.
crazy.
That's amazing. My dad got really great seats for us for it's me Zach's first game on we're doing
You're doing
a
Dallas, aren't you?
no, we're doing the Sharks, the game right
Oh,
before
the
the Super
Sharks.
Bowl.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so it's Super Bowl Sunday, so it's an afternoon game, which is good for him. And I, I didn't think it through, and I may have gotten seats too close to the glass. I was like, I never really like. My dad was like, "Oh, just pick something that you think would be good." I'm like, "Well, I didn't necessarily want him like up in 400. I just didn't feel like that. I really like him, And if he's not front row, like with people are going to block his view, then he's
Yeah,
up pretty
yeah,
high up. So at least we're on the ground level. So like I like that a little bit more for someone as small as him. But like I hope he's able to see because it's like we're like
right.
right there. So but I think with all
That's
the noise
amazing.
and all the there I don't know if you've been there. When was the last time you got to see a Capitals game?
I went, oh my gosh, right.
Was it before the
Uh,
renovations or after? Have you seen the new
it was,
screens?
I've seen the renovations because it was like March 11th, it was 2020,
Okay,
just as we were going into COVID.
right.
And I think that was, I don't know if they've done anything different since then.
I think they keep on adding more screens, it seems, but
The
yeah,
Jumbotron was like, wow.
yeah, exactly. And there's now like screens in the upper 400 section, which is nice. And there's
Oh,
360 screens all throughout, and with different lights. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think that it's synced up better. So I'm excited to hear your take, especially going on that one. So it'll be fun. The next couple of weeks we'll be able to recap you going to that one. Because you
yeah.
said that's at the end of the month, is that right? It's coming up pretty
It's a
soon.
it's a week from this Thursday. It's on the 26th. Because I
Got
know
it.
that
So
they're going to be doing like Arizona and Vegas this week.
right.
So
So
there's like
we'll
like late.
preview that one next week, and we'll like
Yeah,
recap it the following week, which is great. And then like 2 weeks later, we'll do the same for the game I'm going to, which I'm so excited because my dad took me to the first game, so I'm so excited for him to be able to take Zach to his first game. So that'll
that
be
is so exciting, and I love that you're going with up against the Sharks.
Yeah, so
Yay.
that'll be, yeah, it's fun.
I don't know
So
why Dallas was in my head. I was like, wait, that
thank
doesn't
God
sound
it's
right.
not though, because I've never beaten Dallas in all the games I've ever gone
Maybe
to.
that's
So
what it is. I was like thinking, yeah, past games
I
and
do
and
have
your
a
record.
bad track record with the Sharks though too. I have to say, the night that somebody won the presidency, we played the Sharks, and I was at that
Ugh.
game, and everything went bad that night. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping for better. The action is back. Ovi has 2 shots on goal, an assist, and 3 hits on the night. The shot counter
The
just went
first
to
time I've seen
19.
him be this physical, and it's you. So it tells you that this team is kind of gotten under skin, or I'll just say, he's up there hating Clutterbuck as much as I do. So
Right, exactly. So, this game will be interesting. We'll definitely do some live look-ins on it, but we could also um talk about, we never finished this game. So basically in the second period, Philly got 2 goals within like a minute of each other, and it was pretty
mhm.
frustrating. And I feel like it was just shut down hockey from both sides after that.
Yeah,
There wasn't a whole lot of opportunities, and we played into Philadelphia's game plan. And so
yeah.
yeah, it's
It
just
just I was really, really thinking that we were to come back, and even if it was going to be close, even if it was like 4-3 or whatever, but like we just did not just didn't show up. And it's like, come on, guys. Especially with them scoring again first in the first period, and then to go an entire 20-minute period in both games, like the first game, the second period, no goals. And then this time it was in the third, it was like, come on. But I don't know,
ugh.
but there are still, positives. There's face percentage has been better, and definitely staying out of the sin bin. I think they're really, really, really trying to egg Tommy on, and I appreciate his restraint because they're trying to get under his skin. And luckily, it didn't happen. But yeah, this game will be interesting.
Uh,
Bavillier and Peugeot and all
yeah,
these
it's
French
it's
players.
weird that we haven't played them yet this year. We hadn't played either New York
I
team
know.
until recently. So that's always really interesting. Unfortunately, I have a Dallas scoring update, but they missed the extra point, which is good. So they scored a touchdown. They got it to 18, but they didn't get it to 19, which they should have.
They keep
Um,
missing their field goals.
Yeah, and extra points. So,
Don't care.
uh, yeah, that's exactly right. So, unfortunately, they're still up 18-0, but we'll talk about this in the second hour. These football games, there were some big leads blown this weekend. So 18 is definitely not, he's pretty pissed. Um, so we'll see how that happens. So again, it's 3-2. Unfortunately, the Islanders are up with 17:49 left in the third period. Let's take a look at our week ahead, and then I can actually talk to you for a few minutes about your 49ers, which I'm very excited about. It might be a nice
Yes.
segue into our football talk at the top of the hour. The upcoming games, we've got a back-to-back. So we're playing against Minnesota tomorrow, and that game is at home. So it's a 7 o'clock game, and then on Thursday we go to Arizona at 9 o'clock, and then Saturday at Vegas, and that's a 10 o'clock game. And then we'll continue our West Coast swing after that. Those are going to be the 3 games we're going to take a look at. So Minnesota, over their last 5 games, they beat Arizona and these Islanders actually, but they had lost to the Rangers, the Blues, and at Buffalo before that. Sort of up and down for the Wild. What are some of your
Mhm.
thoughts on playing them tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good kind of stepping stone into the rest of the games. If they can beat the Wild, who have a 24-14-4 record, I think the momentum continues into going to Arizona, and then Vegas is going to be tough. I mean, let's be honest. It's yes, I'm well aware they're playing in Vegas and everything, but they're hot right now. I mean, they're 28-14-2. So I would love to see going into this, getting the momentum started with a win against the Wild for sure on Tuesday, which tomorrow. Yeah, my days are. I'm so.
Yeah, it is very confusing when we have the day off on a Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely an interesting week. I hope that we're able to find a way to. I mean, first of all, I think that this is an important one because the back to back, and we'll probably get to see what the other goalie can do and see how the team does and which players they, go in and out of the lineup because it's kind of been a revolving door, and it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this game plays into who gets the spot for tomorrow's game, right? Because
Absolutely. Well, and I think that during the last
oh
after
no.
the first intermission, they changed some.
Speaking of
Sorry, of course,
goalies,
my delay.
yeah, there's Kemper is hurt, and so they're looking at him right now,
Good
and
God.
so they had him come across, and then he got they fell on him at one point, and then he's still playing, but I don't know if it's from the initial contact then or if it's after that. But what a big save! Um, so we'll have to see because the medical training staff
Oh,
come out.
okay.
So here's
Jeez.
the
No one
save.
wants to see that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's concussion protocol because he got hit in the head as he was coming flying by.
Yeah,
They might have to
definitely.
do
Oh,
that. Um,
and that was by Orlov, right? That's what I saw. Not intentional, obviously, but Orlov going after it looks like he might have taken a knee
yeah.
to the helmet. Oh, Jesus.
So we'll see if Charlie comes into this game, which is weird timing that we're talking about goalie switches. But so yeah, he comes in. Yeah, he's kind of come up, and yeah, I see what you're saying. He's kind of checked into him. It's kind of nobody's fault. It's just bad
Yeah,
placement and stuff
but
like
it
that.
was.
I think he's going to keep on playing though, which shows you how much of a trooper hockey players are, right? So
100%.
especially goalies, they're like a different breed.
God, it's like,
So Tom Brady is
but
dropping back here. They're 3rd and 2. They've had a terrible game so far, but they're able to get a first down there up into the 50-yard line, gets some extra yardage, and they call a timeout. Now there's 5 seconds left in this first half here, and I think Tom Brady is going to try for a Hail Mary. So that was their last timeout. So there again, it's 18-0. And be interesting to see if Tom Brady has one of these magical moments still left in him. But that was still a great
I
play to get to the 50, though, right? Because it gives them a shot. It's half the field versus 60 or 70 yards, which is
absolutely.
impossible. So 15:45 left in the third period here. The Islanders are still up 3-2 over the Capitals. A misplay by the puck right there by the Capitals, and the Islanders are back into their zone.
I don't know if they pull off a win. Maybe this will be the line that they keep, you know, consistent and let it be consistent because that's what these guys need is to, work those kinks out. But like, let's just keep it like they have. I think when you asked earlier, like, what we thought about the lines, and it's like when you look at the players, it's like you have like a Sherry who's, there's like speed, and then there's going to be a skill, and there's going to be a size, and I think that's kind of how I looked at it. And I felt good about it, but I don't know how much the vibe kind of switched once Dowd went out.
Yeah, and which is why you need to have extra centers. People are like, "Oh, now we've got a plethora. We've got Eller, and it's too many. We should package one or whatever." But you can never have too many centers, and
True.
so having an Eller who comes off the bench, especially with the playoff experience he had in 2018, I think you keep 5 centers on your team, even if you can only play 4. But
Right.
just so people, if they don't know the lines, because they might be, A, new to hockey, or B, not paying attention because they've been changing every game. In this game, they started with Ovechkin, Strome, and Sherry on the top line because they had been one of the most successful lines for the Capitals throughout the season. They built a
Right.
new line of Mantha, Kuzi, and Oshie, who hadn't actually played very much together this season, but it's a very strong line. I really like a lot of what that offers. Oshie and Mantha getting down low, Kuzi able to get the puck and distribute between the two. And the
Hmm.
third line is Milano, who really played himself into a position. He was kind of the odd man out to be expected, but he's played well. He's
He's been
played
awesome.
well above
Oh, they
what we're
scored.
paying him. Oh, there you go. Nice.
And I'm on the delay.
You are. So I'm happy you let me know,
Oh,
because now I did get to
is
see
it
the last one.
Oshie?
The Gustafson, yes, to TJ Oshie,
Yay!
a tip-in, ties the
Woohoo!
game at 3. Nice. So
Sweet.
I'm happy that you were looking up while I was reading stats.
I,
So
I
Milano.
hate that, like, I'm like, I swear I'm listening and paying attention, but I had
No,
to.
it's good. No, I mean, that's why we have 2 people on the segment. Why it's really hard to do a live game with just,
uh,
one person. So I was very happy, because a lot of people are unwilling to do it during a live game with me. So I appreciate you doing that, and because we'll definitely get some of the other guys back in next week. Maybe Gil will return. And by the way, Casey was in chat earlier on Twitch. I didn't get to say hi to him. There was a lot going on, but I appreciate him for stopping by. We gave him lots of shout outs on the
oh
Twitch
yeah,
side,
he's a great
and
guy.
he wanted to stop by and say hello to us, and so I appreciate that as well. I'm totally fine if I only get one of these games to go my way, and that I have to sacrifice watching a Cowboys victory for the Caps to get a win. For the record, like, I hate the Cowboys, but not enough to, like, at the sake of the Capitals. So
Of
but
course.
I still think Tom Brady might have a huge comeback. And we always have RG3 sightings on this podcast, and we just actually got to see RG3 here on the halftime show. So I know that Arun's not going to be on tonight, but in Arun's honor, I will mention that I just saw RG3 live. So we'll continue that gag going, even if he's not on. So anyway, we were saying Milano, Baxter, Wilson was
Yes,
that third line, and
I
Johansson,
love it.
Dowd, and Hathaway has actually been the most consistent line over the last 4
Yep.
games. And I think that they're a solid line as well. So unfortunately, that means Eller gets to sit, and until Dowd gets hurt, and then he probably gets that spot. So it's just gonna be interesting to see. I know that we were just trying some stuff, but you just couldn't take Strome out of that last game. I thought that's kind of, he's your best player
I
for the
will
week right
say
now.
I didn't voice my opinion on social media and stuff so much. I know I'm like, oh my gosh, distracted.
Yeah, there's a
But
scrum
I
in front of
didn't
the
think it
net,
was a
by the
good
way.
call,
Yeah.
because I've been a big Sturm fan since the beginning, and I think he's been a consistent player, and I just felt I wasn't quite sure, but I wasn't also ready to throw Laviolette under the bus. And that was my big thing, was like, man, people just getting crazy about about that one thing. It's like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Obviously he did it for a reason. It wasn't like an impulsive call, but then now that he's back today, it's like, okay, well, maybe he did see all the people on social media complaining about it, but I did not agree with that call yet. Not on Saturday. Again, what day is that?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's been crazy, a 3-day weekend. I've been so lucky to get to spend it with my family, so I can't really complain. But yeah, I've kind of lost track of time. I know I have work tomorrow, so like, that's the one thing that I need
Yeah.
to know. So I want to talk real quickly about this week's podcast, and a call to our listeners. Peter Fisher is a really cool guy that I met on my birthday game that I went to. I
Yeah.
met some Caps fans, and so he's trying to find people that are going to these games out in Phoenix,
Arizona, right? Yeah.
and yeah, in Arizona. And so if anybody is going, I put the Facebook link in the Twitch group chat, but obviously you go to the Power Play Point podcast Facebook group and find the latest podcast that Gil had put up, and in the thread there you can contact him, and or you can direct message him as well. But he's trying to get a group together for that game, and so I said that I would mention that here live on air for anybody who is a part of that area or is traveling to go to that game. Again, that's the game that's on Thursday.
Mhm.
That's a 9 o'clock our time game against Arizona in that new stadium, which Peter was also part of the team that made sure that it was compliant with all of the rules and regulations for people with disabilities. So it's an
Yep.
important job, and I appreciate all of the effort there. So a real quick replay that we're kind of like cringing earlier. There was a play right in front of the net that was bouncing up, and it looked like it was going to go over. And our team kind of dog piles on top of Kemper to make sure that it's in there, and they're trying to poke at it. And we're just like, luckily, we got a stoppage of play. and I love one of our players going behind him and putting the stick along the goal ice.
Yeah.
Really
Is that
smart.
Hathaway?
Yeah, it was Hathaway. He's such a clever guy. Like,
Uh,
he doesn't get enough credit for like little plays like that, because if it squirts
yeah, that's
through, then it
huge.
hits
That's
him,
huge.
right? And so like, they're making sure that, I guess, that no one covered it up that wasn't a goalie.
Yeah, him and Jensen. Good
Yeah.
job.
So,
Love it.
what are they calling right now?
I don't know. I'm 15 seconds behind.
They're
Oh,
saying
wait.
no goal.
Okay, good.
Ultimately, that's the most important part, is the last part of that sentence. He said a
Yeah.
whole lot of things, and I don't know if I
Yeah.
can. I was trying to
Blah,
read
blah,
lips.
blah.
Yeah.
No goal.
So they made sure that they would never cross the line. And wow, Hathaway did stop it and then kicked it back to him. Holy moly! I don't think I saw that
Badass.
on the first time, because I saw
21.
this.
Yes.
Let's see right here. It
I
looks
love
like
it.
you have to get completely over. Oh man, that's huge though. Keeps it a
But
3-3
look at
game to
that. Like, yeah,
12-30.
that and then Jensen. Oof, brilliant.
Yeah. So
Nice
it's a
job,
bit,
boys.
yeah, so it's 12:20 left. It's very nerve-wracking to watch a live game
It
on
is.
air, but it's exciting too. People don't get to watch a lot of these. Oh, a nice shot and a rebound, a big juicy rebound. We were unable to cash in on that. The Islanders are trying to get it out, and they do. 12 minutes left here in the third period. So yeah, so if anyone knows about the Arizona game, again, the link to the Facebook group with all the information for the post is in our Twitch chat, but also check out Peter Fisher, Fischer, and link up with him, and they're going to do an awesome Power Play Point podcast meetup before the game, if anybody wants to do that. So hopefully
Love it.
listeners for your show or our show or anybody that's a
Yeah.
Caps fan can join in on that. Yeah, so all right, let's get into the other game, the Vegas one. It's at Vegas. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
The last couple games for Vegas, they lost to Dallas and Edmonton, beat Florida, lost to LA, and beat Pittsburgh. So they've had an up and down couple of weeks as well. But overall, 28 wins on the season, and yeah, it's been a interesting couple weeks for a lot of these teams, and they're going to be a tough out for sure. They're always tough to play there. Obviously, the 2018 Stanley Cup. Ever since we've won that, we've kind of, I don't say we're like rivals because we're not division rivals, but there's definitely
But there's,
a rivalry there. So,
yeah, they're
um,
not welcoming the Caps with open arms. We can,
right,
yeah.
exactly. So, I just wanted to look right now. They're leading the Pacific. That's what I thought, just barely over Seattle. They have 58 points, and Seattle is 56. It's interesting. The last two expansion teams are leading the Pacific there.
Yeah, right.
And it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, the Vegas thing didn't happen again. Seattle wasn't that great in their first season, but since then they've been really good. So
They
it's
have.
true that they didn't, do it right out the gate like Vegas did in their first season, getting to a cup final, which is unheard of.
Of course.
But I think for both teams to be doing this well, it shows that the expansion process obviously created two very high profile teams, out there in the West.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and it's cool. They did announce recently that Vegas will be playing Seattle in a Winter Classic next year. So,
Yeah. I think that's it'll be kind of cool to see.
yeah, I like that as well. Let the two new teams get there. I'm kind of jealous. I really wanted to go to that outdoor game in Carolina. I know a lot of Caps fans are going to get to do that. It's hard to pull the trigger and travel there, and and all that sort of stuff. But I've always wanted to go to see one of the outdoor games.
Yeah,
And
agree.
it's definitely a dream
It's a
of
hike.
mine. Yeah, it definitely is. It'll be a good game against Carolina this year, though. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week because it's not a lot of games, but some potentially
Travel.
tough ones. And Minnesota is a pretty good team. Arizona is not. We should be hopefully able to take care of business, but we should have beat Arizona the last time, and I'll remind Caps fans that they came into our house and they beat us.
Yes.
So if people forget
Don't
about that,
assume.
and we shouldn't assume, and we thought it was going to be a victory a lot that time too. So unfortunately, it wasn't. But any thoughts on who we're playing this week and the upcoming games?
Honestly, I feel like the Wild game is really going to set the tone for the week. If they can win that on Tuesday, even though it's back to back, but who knows? Maybe we'll have something going on here in the next 8 minutes or so. I would say we're going to go 2 for 3.
Yes.
This week. And I'm not going to say that we're definitely going to lose to Vegas, but I'm just saying I think that there's going to be, I don't see us doing a complete, winning all 3. Not right now.
I think we'll probably be 500, including tonight. So I don't know how that's going to shape out. Hopefully we win tonight, and that'll help us in getting 2, maybe 3 wins.
Yep.
But yeah, if we win tonight, I think we can get 3. But if we don't, I think we'll be looking at 2 as optimistic, right? So
yeah.
it's a shot on goal right there, right on cue. So 7:38 left. Unfortunately, the Islanders are now pointed on. It's pretty even in shots. The Caps are out shooting them 27-24. Another play across the crease. The Capitals are trying to get it out, but the Islanders keep it in. Unfortunately, now they're cycling down low. 7:20 left. With a shot on goal, a nice save. Wow, it just keeps on getting fed right through the mouth of the goal. But a shot on goal, and it's deflected up and over, and I think we're finally going to get a breath and a TV timeout, which we haven't had in a very long time in this game.
Right.
So
I wish they would have played this in the first period or played like this.
Yeah, 7:11 left in this period, and it's still tied 3-3. So, and if people are maybe new to the Capitals or don't know, there's a huge history of them playing against the Islanders and playing a lot of overtime games and
and physical.
So, yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess I'm trying to figure out what else. Well, I want to get your thoughts. Can you talk about the 49ers and your thoughts about that win for a little bit? And we can sort of, then we'll get some of our football talk on here. And then we might also talk about the game once it's back from the commercial break. But let people know about the 49ers, who I thought didn't start off strongly, but have been particularly great.
Absolutely. Well, I've been a fan. I moved to Northern California in 1980. So I've been a fan since then. And ironically, right before that, I was living in South Bend. I was little, but that is when Joe Montana was part of Notre Dame, and we were getting introduced to him. And then when we moved to Bay Area, and he came to the Niners, and it was this big following. So I've been a pretty diehard fan for a long time. They started off, we had high hopes for one quarterback who immediately got injured, and it was like, oh my God, here we go again. Jimmy G stepped in. I like Garoppolo. I do. I mean, aside from being easy on the eyes, but he's good. And I think that he was starting to calm down a little bit. He was a little one that you were like you never could quite relax when he was playing, because you're like, oh my God, calm down, don't be impulsive. And then he gets injured, and then all of a sudden we've got this 23-year-old that's a highlight, sorry. I was like trying to go back with Purdy, and I cannot be more impressed with that kid. I mean, talk about ice in the veins, calm, everything. And McCaffrey. But I will say number 85 is my favorite. I'm a huge Kittle fan. I love his energy. I love everything about the guy, and his plays, and 85, like, he's just fantastic. But I was so pumped for that game on Saturday. It was
happy
awesome.
for you, because it was so close in the first half, and it started to look like it was going south, and then then in the second half it was just like, haha, we were just kidding. Here's the dominant performance we were all expecting. But Yeah, and Carly is singing the praise of Jimmy G, and
Woo!
yeah, I'm so impressed, with their so many teams coming in with first year, quarterbacks and playing really well in the playoffs and never played before, yeah,
It's
so
kind of cool to see. I have to admit, like um I don't know. You said did you watch all the games this weekend?
I've
Or
watched parts of all the games. I didn't see
yeah,
all the games because definitely I was doing some other stuff, but I definitely went back and watched a lot of the full 15-minute replays, which has like all the plays that matter. So I have a
so
pretty good sense of
crazy.
how they all went, and it's pretty crazy how they all came back. And yeah, so unfortunately, Tom Brady had the ball first, and I thought that would be significant in this half, and unfortunately they did nothing with it, and they've had a really rough game. So again, the Cowboys are up 18-0. That was the first possession of the third quarter. It didn't even last 50 seconds, and Cowboys have the ball again. And
And I
yes,
didn't. I really thought Tampa Bay was gonna show up.
yeah,
You
it's
know.
funny. I kind of saw this happening only because you know, he's never lost to Dallas ever.
Hmm.
Dallas has not won in the blue jerseys in forever. They haven't won on the road since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things, like eventually like the other side of the coin flip happens. Like you don't get it
Yeah.
heads every time, so I just thought that they're due for a bad day. And also I just didn't think I was gonna be lucky enough to get to watch the Cowboys lose live on a podcast. But and there's still time. This game is not over. It's just the very beginning of the third quarter. But they're going to have to make some big plays here on defense, get the ball back, and score some points,
Yeah.
and make a game of it. We're just under 5 minutes now here in this Caps game. Caps are still out shooting them 29-26. It's still tied 3-3 in the game again, 4:52, and now it's going back to a commercial break. Did you watch any of the other games other than the 49ers game?
I did. I watched the Bills game. That was so much better to watch. I was like legit in tears last week. That was hard to watch. That was and anytime you have to see a player injured, but to that extent was heart wrenching. But I watched that yesterday. I was with family, and that was really really cool. I watched. I'm trying to think of who else I was watching. Um, yeah, little pieces here and there, Kansas City, and
Yeah,
for
that
me, it's
that that comeback for me, that Jacksonville game was
was
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, and then that I watched all of the Ravens game, and I was just so very frustrated because that one play, which I think was a terrible play design, I'll talk about that more in the second hour, but just to lose it on a fumble return for 98 yards, and like that was the difference in the game. I thought the Ravens actually outplayed Cincinnati and deserved
Yeah,
in a lot of ways to win that game, and it's just really horrible clock management at the end, and that one bad play. And these games are so close between these division rivals that it can come down to two or three
yeah.
relatively small things. It's not and oof. Oh my god, did he catch that? How the hell? God damn it. They're gonna win this game. I'm sorry. I hate the
No,
Cowboys.
it's fine because I
It's
don't.
gonna come out a lot in this second hour,
Good.
but um just so frustrating. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I hate the Cowboys. I hope that the Caps at least win this game, so at least I can have something to salvage.
You and me both, because
I'm
it
gonna
was.
be
Go
really
ahead.
pissed if we lose both of the games. Like I just
uh,
not emotionally here for that.
yeah, no, I feel the same way because is that Carl? Yeah, interesting. Um, God, I'm so distracted. This is like the total ADHD episode. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, I mean it's going to
Like
be. It was kind of like
squirrel.
happens when you have two live games on both, kind of
But
riveting in their own ways, but
yeah,
it's just
but the Dallas Niners rivalry, I mean, that's like all I grew up, absolutely hating Dallas and everything. So I get it. So then when I saw this today, I'm like, well,
what a
Sonny's.
crazy, if that is the matchup, right? You've got Eagles versus Giants and this iconic like Dallas versus
Yeah,
49ers. It's just old NFC teams
yeah,
that are just, I don't know, it's just interesting if it does end up being that way. Um
absolutely.
and honestly, I rooted in some ways for the Giants yesterday because I really wanted it to prove that um, the division was what it was. People were like, "Oh, the NFC East, they're good on paper. Or can they actually perform in the playoffs?" Right? Like, 'cause that's the real test. Like, it's great if
Yeah,
we get 3 teams in from our division, and and we almost had 4, but like, do they do anything with it? Or are they
exactly.
all bounced in the first round and it doesn't really matter? So. The Cowboys are surprising me here. I see that Dugenais and Champ are both tuning in. So I'm going to bring both of them
Oh,
in real
fabulous.
quickly, and we're going to do what they kind of call in the business a crossover, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll bring them in real quickly. And we got 3:44 left here in the third period in a tie 3-3 game. We'll probably go into the second hour before this Caps game is over, but I'll definitely give scoring updates in the second hour as well. But um I figured we have the crew here. We could talk for just a minute. What are some of your thoughts on the 49ers? Since we've got Anna here, I thought we could just address that. So first of all, Dujane, how are you doing? And what were your thoughts on the 49ers? Initially a rough game, but then they got it together in the second half.
I'm doing good. You know, typical Kyle Shanahan, right? This is stuff that we can't get some of the best coaches that are allegedly best coaches in the league to do. We criticize sometimes his choice and plays at certain points in the game. Fact of the matter is, though, he understands what his quarterback is capable of doing and doing well, and he plays to that strength and does that what Purdy does well. As long as he continues to do that with that defense, I think they're going to be pretty hard to stop. That's the difference, though, in decent coaches and coaches that are great. His dad was good with that as well. We
Mhm.
saw Kyle do that with Griffin. We've seen him do that in Atlanta. I just think that's just you're going to have to line up and you're going to have to beat them at their own game, or you're going to have to force them out of their game. And Kyle Shanahan has a playbook, the size of, 3 or 4 Bibles stuck together. I mean, I think it's very difficult. They're really, as long as he doesn't turn the football over, they got a really good shot as anybody. I picked them to be in the Super Bowl with the Bills. So I don't
Cool.
see anyone stopping them but them.
Yeah, it is interesting. Do you think, looking back, I mean, it's a little easy to do now. Do you think that we should have kept him and promoted him? And
No.
no,
Toxic
so
situation, different situation. There was a lot of things that he was having to fight against.
Mhm.
And I don't think so. And then to be honest with you, everybody can put it on Griffin all they want. Your job as the coach, you're the daddy. You're the guy who is, pretty much running the show, and they ruined a good thing with Robert, and they had no choice but to go, in my opinion.
yeah, for sure. So we got 150 left in the third period here, still tied 3-3. We got a Neville appearance now. The Cowboys are winning 18-0. What are some of your thoughts, Dujane, on this current game that we're watching?
Well, it's very apparent that the Bucs did not watch any of the Commanders' tape in that last game. I mean, pretty much the Commanders gave you a blueprint on how to beat this football team. And what we're seeing here with Dak is there's a lot of things that he does very well. You're going to see this right here. This is easy. Okay, that touchdown's too easy.
I
But
know.
that's what he does best. So what you're seeing out of the
Holy
Bucs defense is they're playing a lot of cover 2, and that's a lot of cover 2 zone, not a lot of man, and then you're seeing them play some shell in with that. It creates seams, and that can't. Dak loves seams. If you watch any of his great games, I mean, Commanders fans have seen it over and over again when they have the best of the Commanders, is he throws a lot of things down the seam. There's a lot of things down the seam of the sideline with the tight end. We saw that earlier on this drive. You saw the seam route that he threw to the tight end to get the first touchdown. That's what he likes to do. And they're basically not playing any type of bump and run. They're giving them, 5 or 10 yards or better. And so they're just sitting in zones, and he's able to throw the ball and get the ball there with ease. They're not doing anything special. It's really the fact that the Bucs aren't playing very good defense, and it seems to me they haven't adjusted from the first half. I mean, this is just too easy.
Yeah.
The only thing here is, did he step out? That's really the thing, and that could be a possibility. But again, he's going to do that all night if they're not going to play man up. And like I said, I don't understand it. Blueprint was laid out in the last week of the season with the Commanders. They dogged them defensively, and I don't see why that can't be repeated here, especially when they're on the road. But they're giving Dak everything he wants. I don't think you'll see that against a quality team such as probably they will end up playing the 49ers or something like that. That ain't happening in the next round. I can tell you that right now. Kyle's gonna shut that down.
It's interesting. We were talking about it last week. I don't remember who said it, but I think it actually may have been you, Champ, that basically Dallas would have won the South down there, that they're better than all the other ones. Was it you, Champ, that said that?
I think it might have been either Tim or Arun that said that, honestly. But it's funny seeing how Dallas is playing this game. I was the first to say, oh, they got demoralized. They're coming limping into the playoffs after the Commanders spanked them when they were on the road. The Cowboys were on the road. I figured they were going to come in limping, but instead they came in pissed off. Clearly, they came in very much pissed off, and they're taking their frustrations out on Tom Brady, who's been playing like his age. Tom Brady is 45 years old, and he's playing like he's 45 years old. He's looking horrible. He can't make throws. Him and Mike Evans have been off. They've been off balance and off this. They haven't been on the same page all game long, clearly. And right now, like, Dak Prescott still has the streak of 7 straight games throwing an interception. Unless Tampa Bay does something right here and right now, that streak could end, and they could be sitting at home wondering, well, is Tom will be back next year at 46? You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to think about that, but at the same time, it's not, because the NFC South was extremely weak this year. Like, the fact that Tampa Bay got in with a 500 record should tell you how weak this division was compared to the records and what was put into this NFC playoff. The fact that 3 NFC East teams, all with above 500 records, all are in, and you have a Tampa Bay Bucs team that was barely 500 as a division champion in this one. It's crazy. I'm interested in seeing this one, but what was more impressive, though, was San Francisco. Yeah, they started off really slow, but the old saying is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yep, it's how 100%.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And how did they finish? They beat the crap out of them. That's how they finished.
Yep. And there's nothing better than beating a Pete Carroll. Sorry. He's got that gum chewing smug look on his face, and I can't stand it. But you know what?
Yeah, I can't stand it either.
Yeah, it's just that chomp, and he had that USC, and it's like, oh God.
Wow, 4 straight missed extra points. It's an NFL record.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can actually make
and
one.
Yet,
let's make it 5. Let's make it 5.
Yeah,
that's it. Make it 5.
I don't know why they don't go for 2.
He did.
Oh, your ass!
He's
5
shook.
times.
He is shook.
Oh my God, this dude is trash.
Oh my God, 5 missed extra points in a row. I hope they come back and lose by like a point or something. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
right.
God.
I feel like that's going to happen. I really do. I don't think this game is far from over. They're going to have to put more points on the board. I don't trust this at all. This is typical Dallas fashion to be leaving points out there. And again, Tom Brady's still on the other side. But they've got to make some changes defensively, though. This is crazy. They're not falling at all.
I can't believe it shifted that far. It went all the way across.
He is shook. He is shook.
5 times.
The game went to overtime. There's now 4 minutes left in overtime. Still 3-3. The Capitals have still outshot them 32-29. Ovi's on the ice.
He's like, he missed it again. T.Y. Hilton was like, he missed it again.
Dak was on his ass on the sideline after the third or fourth one.
Yeah, he was like,
wow.
we should go for 2.
Yeah, wow. Anyway, at least there's some positive things coming out of this. Here, let's see if we get a big run back here. Oh, nope, he just got ragdolled. Oh,
look at his eyes. Like they about the size of silver dollars. He's scared to death.
Yeah.
They just need to go for 2 on here on out.
And I'm going to let you go. People should go check out the Power Play Point podcast. Go to the podcast partners button on SportsOTHP.com. Gil and C4 did a great job on that. I'm sure Anna will be on sometime soon. But Anna, thank you so much for coming on and breaking down the last week plus has been. And hopefully we're able to get a scoring update here before the night's over with some positive news in this game. And we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. It was great. Dujane, always love your feedback on football, especially. And Champ, I'm glad you're feeling better. I didn't know. If I had known, I would have sent you a card or something.
It's all right. Welcome back, Anna.
All right. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Anna, for joining us. Again, 3 minutes left in overtime. I'll let you know how this game ends, either in the overtime or in the shootout, but I'm happy we got a point in it, especially in a back-to-back game. Tom Brady is struggling tonight. I don't think I've ever seen him struggle like this, Dujane.
Well, if you're looking at what they're doing, Dallas is doing a great job of really pressing them. They're getting in their face. They're attacking them as far as the front four, and then their linebackers are just sitting down and they feel like they can get there, and they are. And then their corners are just basically they're playing with their backs to the end zone. They're being able to watch Tom and what he does, and they're just reacting. And it's really a great game plan. They really haven't been able to knock them off of that just yet.
Yeah, oh no, this is not good. This is going to be, so they're saying he's down.
I
There's a flag.
I don't think that's a fumble at all. I wouldn't even say he caught that.